I've had that same conversation, like what makes a person a photographer? I don't know if I even have an answer for this. I remember seeing my friend Caleb use a camera, and that was kind of my very first introduction to seeing somebody shoot skating or anything. And I remember he had this slow shutter photo of like a neon sign, and I couldn't wrap my head around why it was all shaky looking. Oddly enough, that was kind of like the first intrigue, and then after that I asked my parents about getting me a camera, and my dad said, oh, I have this old camera that I used to use years and years ago. You can have it and use it. It's in this Pelican case that is underneath a bunch of shit. Oh, Jesus. So here lives the Hasselblad 501cm, Hasselblad X-Pan, panoramic camera. Land camera that's fully manual, the 180, and my first camera ever, the Canon FTB. Yeah, it's still great. It still has the bottom of the t-shirt that I ripped off to make a strap out of.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's comfy because it's all cotton. When I first started, I was just trying to shoot everything and anything I could. Obviously, I had a main focus on skating, as that's what I was around the most, and that's what I ultimately wanted to shoot. Growing up in Michigan and having a snowboard background, it was either I wanted to be a skate photographer or I wanted to be a pro snowboarder. So in the winter, we were filming snowboarding, and I was trying to do that whole thing, and then in the summer we'd shoot skating and hang out with my friends and all that stuff. The snowboard thing didn't work out, and so the skate photographer thing did, so that's how I'm here. So today we are going to a little zone in between Corona and Riverside to skate with Mason Silva. He's working on his element part right now, and we've been on this mission before, but we were unsuccessful. So we're trying to go back today to get one of Mason's last tricks. My main process when I first get to a spot is to just look at it from every single angle I can.
Something like this.
High, low, far.
Am I fucking it up?
Close, fisheye, long lens.
Is this cool?
Standard zoom.
Like this?
I try to not leave anything unlooked.
Any ideas on angles?
So I'll spend as much time as I can without the skater yelling at me or the filmer yelling at me to get out of the shot, trying to figure out the angle.
That's the one.
You like it? You like it?
Perfect. Yeah, this is Victor Garibay, a friend that passed away a little bit ago. Probably one of my favorite photos I've ever shot. And we ended up in Chinatown, and I remember there's like these stairs that go up to the train, and I really like shooting down at things to try to get a different perspective. And I remember I walked up there and I saw it. I'm like, you should probably front board this little bike rack, and did it in a couple goes, and I think he landed this one too. And then as he was going, he was being chased by this dog, and then it ran in there, and now we have this photo that I really am a big fan of. So once I decided that I wanted to try to do the skate photographer thing and move to California, the couple years leading up to that point when I was just shooting in Michigan, it was almost just for practice, but I still had this Transworld internship lined up, and it was the first time ever that I had made a plan to leave home, to go do something else. So I got the internship through my good friend Lance Hacker. So I hit him up and was like, what should I do? Do you have any ideas? He grew up with the associate editor at Transworld, Ben Kelly. And so Lance put me in touch with Ben. You know, and Lance is like, he's good people, you know, hard worker, really wants it, you know, you should take a chance on the kid. And right when I got here, so I had an interview with Ben, and it worked, and we did our thing for 2 years. Was it? Here it is. First photo I ever got ran in a real magazine. And then this was the day that I went out to Lake Elsinore and just shot all this stuff that Dolan had already done, but he had never gotten photos of. And this was one of them. And then this was the first one. Yeah, that's the first cover, the Tiago one from We Are Blood. And yeah, we got to that famous spot, the Forum, that has like the weird banks and like the reflective ceilings, and I saw this light that was here. It's like this zone that was coming down from the top. And Tiago's got so much pop, I'm like, go do a kickflip over there. And at that point, he trusted me. So, you know, we shot a few and it looked cool. And then I turned in the photos, and sure enough. And I was especially psyched because it's not like a classic skate photo. It's not like an in-your-face fisheye. It's not super, you know, tightly composed where you can see the sponsors. It's like, it's a very me photo. So it was really rad that Jamie recognized that, Jamie at Transworld, and, you know, was down to make that happen.
Did something! I've never been so jockey about landing something, but it's been so long. I've been trying like fucking hard shit for like so long, like just a month of just like
That's amazing.
hard tricks that I can't land.
It's so good.
Fuck, dude. Dude, that looks so sick.
Today's session was pretty typical, I would say, especially when people are working on deadline style tricks. You know, emotions are running a little higher and there's a little bit of a tension in the air. You know, you don't want to have to come back a third, fourth, fifth time for something. No one ever likes that. But yeah, it worked out. I am really psyched on the photo that we got today. I actually got two photos. There's one that's like a looser composition that you can see kind of the whole spot, and then the other one's a bit tighter. I feel like composition is everything. At least when I started shooting, it was always like, bring the 3 flashes, bring everything you own, cover all your bases. Now I try to almost switch up my setup every time I go out, so then you're like forced to use what you brought that day. So yeah, when we're not out terrorizing the streets and dealing with all of that stuff, I like to go on drives to random zones and take photos of stuff that's not skateboarding. It's, you know, good head clearing, go disappear for a little bit, not deal with anybody. So yeah, this was in Lake Elsinore when the Holy Fire was happening. And I had nothing to do that day, and I just drove straight to Elsinore, camera in hand, and didn't know what I would get. And then this was just outside Elsinore at the Shell station. Just thought it was a coolly composed photo. Because at some point, at least for me, I want to shoot more than just skateboarding. You know, it's really fun, and it's taken me to a lot of cool places in the short time that I've done it. Eventually, I see myself shooting a lot more commercial stuff, you know, things that actually pay real money and can afford you a real lifestyle, opposed to these trips or, you know, ads where you only get $200-300. You know, that stuff adds up if you do it a lot, but you're out every single day and you're spending money on gas, food, you might get a ticket that day, so it'd be nice to have a bit more security. Well, obviously, to get into shooting skating, it definitely helps to be a skateboarder first. Having skating in common gets you pretty far with other skaters. And then you have to be good at your craft, which takes time. And then skaters have to trust you. You have their careers in your hands, and you have to make them look good, and that's your job. So being available is a very big thing. People want to go hit a rail at 3 in the morning and light it up. You got to be there. You got to hit a spot before it opens at 6 a.m. You got to be there. You got to be ready. Being down to, you know, get on a roof or cut a fence open or, you know, do some illegal shit. That's just part of the job. Not faking it is a very big thing. Skaters are very intuitive when it comes to our small little world.